All right, we have talked a ton about conference realignment. A lot of it's been from the Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina perspective, some Big Ten perspective, but we haven't talked a ton with other teams in the ACC. I'm going to chat with Jeremy of Cardinal Sports Zone today about Louisville. Jeremy, what is the overall attitude of Louisville fans just towards conference realignment in general?
Well, we're kind of used to it because I don't know if how familiar everybody is with the Louisville program, but we were football independents for a very long time. But in basketball, we went from the Metro Conference to Conference USA to the Big East to the ACC to the or AAC to the ACC. So this is nothing new for us. We're used to it. We're built for it, and we just want to end up in a situation where we're not left out. And that's the big worry is that you get left out. But Connecticut sure doesn't seem like they're being left out in college basketball. So maybe it wouldn't be a bad thing to be a big fish in a small pond. But no, we're used to it, so it's not a worry for us at all. The only thing we're worried about realigning is in NCAA football when it comes out at the end of the year. So, and do all the realigning there.
Yeah. What do Louisville and yeah, I do remember all that. I live in Tampa, Florida, and my wife graduated from USF, and there were some fun battles back in those Big East days. Basketball and football got after it quite often, and that was fun here in town. So, what do Louisville fans think of Florida State and Clemson trying to blow this whole thing up? Are they annoyed at Florida State and Clemson doing that? Like, think they're kind of wrecking their home, or are they like, yeah, just get it over with and we'll find another landing spot? Or what do Louisville fans think about the Seminoles and Tigers being jerks right now?
It's crazy because it's a little bit of both because as you said, it's blowing up a good thing, man. This conference has been look. Let's make no mistake about it. When I was growing up, I wanted to be in a better conference. Sure, the Metro Metro Conference. We won 2 national championships in the Metro Conference. Won a national championship in the AAC. So in basketball, obviously, I know we're talking football. So the conference thing, the ACC was always the place that I put Louisville in the NCAA football games when you were able to realign the conferences and stuff. So that's where we want to be. And we hate the fact that they're messing it up. But on the other hand, uh, selflessly, they think that they could be in. If they think that they could be in a better conference and set themselves up for more success, who am I to hate against that? We bounced from conference to conference in the past when things got tough. We can do it again. I'm not worried at all about moving to a different conference.
I feel like Louisville's investment in compete and in trying to compete at the highest level would almost now people talk about reduced rates and could you get into one of the big two at an 80% clip or a 50%, would it be worth it, but I feel like Louisville's investment into athletics is something that is attractive. If Louisville fans had their pick, and they're kind of right on the line as far as, Florida obviously just feels like the South, right? Florida State, the Big 10 would feel really, really weird. If Louisville fans had their pick of SEC or Big 10, where would they probably prefer to be?
Well, I know everybody's going to be like, "Oh, of course they want to be in the SEC," but here's the thing: the SEC, they've got a clause in their conference bylaws that say that Kentucky can reject us from joining their conference. So they're not going to let us join the conference. I think it's the same rule that allows Georgia to negate a Georgia Tech edition, and who else am I forgetting? Florida and Florida State as well. So, but I guess Florida could agree to bring Florida State in and be okay. Kentucky would never agree to let us join the conference, even if they thought it made us look like complete fools on a weekly basis. They would never let us in. I love the tradition of the Big 10. It's a better fit because we're in the Midwest. We're about as Midwest. Louisville is about as Midwest and South as you could be at the same time without being.
Yeah, right on the line. I feel like.
Yeah, you can fit in both spots, but at the end of the day, I feel like we truly do end up in the Big 12, which is crazy because that's kind of a conference of leftover misfits at the moment. I feel like we should be striving for better than that. But if I had my choice of the Big Two, it would be the Big 10. I can see us being competitive, definitely competitive in basketball and baseball, and volleyball. Football, it might be an issue at first, but we could get there. But that would be my choice out of those two, though.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's yeah. I mean, I think Louisville at this moment it feels like Big 12, but I also think that like they've got a for sure landing spot in the Big 12, in my opinion, and based on the people that I've chatted with. And I think that we're not anywhere close to being done with this stuff. And whether it was, the Big 12 for 5 or 10 years and then, based on their success over the next decade, then you maybe get the call up, or if the big three conferences, which I know there's a Big Two and then the Big 12, but if the big three conferences really did just kind of like realign everything and make like this 60 team super league, to me, I think that is, you just got to get out of the ACC to me, right? You just got, like, if the ship's going down, you don't need to be standing on the deck playing the music, right? Like, let Georgia Tech do that. That's honorable. That's very honorable. But like, don't go down. This isn't 1912, right? Like, don't go down with this ship. Like, get out, get on the life draft, get to the Big 12 for now. I think Brett Yormark does a great job. I think that their conference is, it's not going to be the Big 10 or the SEC. Like, anybody that wants it to be like that, it's just not. But you're not going to die there. Like, your program's not going to go there and die. You'll probably not compete for national championships, but I don't know that Louisville is competing for national championships now in football, right? But
Right.
basketball, I think they'd be fine. So that's not a shot, but I think, how many Big 12 teams right now or ACC teams outside of Florida State, Clemson are competing for that. And so, yeah, I think they just need to survive. And if that's Big 12 for a decade and then move up, or if it's a realignment that forces everybody together in the Super League, I think they'll end up being fine. And I think, again, going back to the last one, I think Louisville's investment in winning. You got so many of these teams like, Rutgers and Vandy and Illinois, and just these programs that just like, what are they investing in winning, right? And there's a lot of them in the ACC that don't take any of the money and put it back into athletics. But I think that's going to help Louisville long term because they do care and they do want to compete and win at the highest level. They've got a good AD, they've got good coaches. There's a standard around there. I think Louisville will be fine going forward. It may be slower than Florida State or Clemson's path, but I do think they'll be fine going forward.
Well, even with let's talk about that because it seems like the only for sure team that can get in to the college football playoff is Clemson if they're having a good season. I mean, Florida State was undefeated last year
Yeah.
into the playoffs. So, and again, not a shot. I have plenty of Florida State fans, so I would never do that. Anyway, oh, good, we lost in baseball. Sorry, I just have a love-hate relationship with our baseball team at the moment. But yeah, it's a tough conference to get any respect in. I mean, again, undefeated. You all won the ACC title game. Who cares? It was with the third string quarterback. You beat a top 25 team in the conference title game. Should have been in. Wasn't. I don't know if Jesus could have had a college football team last year in the ACC and made it. I don't know, but yeah, you're right. It probably does set us up for some success, and we can go have a good deck. I'm just tired of switching conferences. I want to be able to put I love the ACC bumper sticker on my car and not have to worry about peeling it off in 10 years. So, hopefully we can get. But I think to your point, if they create that super conference, that's the best shot for us to get in the conference and not have to leave it again as long as I'm alive.
Yeah, they'll be in really good shape there. Jeremy, where can people follow you? Where can they find your work?
They can follow me at Jeremy_CSZ on Twitter, Instagram, all those social medias. I keep my handle the same. You can find us on YouTube.com. Search for Cardinals Sports Zone. Plenty of shows there. And at ringsidepodcast.com, we interview some of the top wrestlers in the world. on that show, and we have a good time. I have a good time bullying Daniel every week, so it's a good time.
I'm with it. I appreciate you a ton for joining us. If you've missed any of our recent conference realignment content, Louisville fans, do me a favor and click the playlist on the screen right now.